Welcome back to Brick by Brick. Today we're going to be doing a hypothetical matchup between the current governor of California, Governor Gavin Newsom, on the Democratic side. And then on the Republican side, we'll be going with J.D. Vance, the current Vice President of the United States. These two candidates, at the moment, and we're still pretty far out from the 2028 election, but have emerged as the two most likely candidates. A lot can change in 3 years, so it isn't locked in, to say the least, but we're going to be going with these two candidates for this fun little hypothetical matchup. Right off the bat, Gavin Newsom is going to be at 225, and then J.D. Vance is at 219. I just took the swing states out. This is based on the 2024 presidential elections, and that, in general, was not a good year for Democrats. Harris, of course, lost the election, and states, even in states like even New Jersey, narrowed up to be a lean. I do think that the environment for Democrats is a little bit, slightly is better now. And I'm going to be going with it. There we go. So we've got these swing states left to characterize. We'll fix that. And these seven states, and then one congressional district are really the core swing states and district. We will start out on the West Coast and then move eastward. So right now, in the 2024 election, Trump was able to get a lot of was an appealing candidate to key voting demographics in the Southwest, the states of Nevada and Arizona. Nevada has been voting more conservative lately. It did go to Trump in 2024. It went to Biden before that in 2020, and then Clinton in 2016. She was even able to win it. So I do think that this state things might be changing. I know that many of you in the comments argue that there are conservatives from California who are not a big fan of the more liberal-leaning policies of the state and have been moving to the swing states, such as the state of Nevada. I just don't think that is going to be enough, so I'm going to characterize the state of Nevada as a tilt blue state. Then we get to the state of Arizona. In Arizona, even in the 2024 election, Trump was able to win Arizona by the highest margin of the core battleground states. And I do think it will narrow up. I don't know if it'll be enough for Governor Gavin Newsom to overcome and win the state, but for now, I'm going to go with a tilt red rating for the state of Arizona. So that's going to be 11 more electoral college votes for J.D. Vance. And then we get to, actually, I'll do the rest of the Sun Belt, and then I'll get to the Rust Belt. So in the Sun Belt, both Georgia and North Carolina have been generally trending left. In 2026, there's going to be a Senate election that will most likely there's going to be a Senate election in both of those states, but the one in North Carolina is a little more interesting. It's just got a very popular Democratic challenger there. And I do think on the Senate level in 2026, both of these states will end up in the blue. But for now, I do think they are going to have a different characterization. Well, one is going to be blue and the other is going to be Republican. So in the state of Georgia, I do think that Governor Gavin Newsom, he's been trying to portray himself as a bit more of a moderate in some regards. He's definitely not the most moderate candidate Democrats could put forward. Same would be said about J.D. Vance on the Republican side. But I do think that the state of Georgia and the Sun Belt in general is going to progressively get better and better for Democrats. And I just don't think that the key demographic voting blocks that Trump was able to do well with in 2024, I don't think J.D. Vance will be able to replicate that in the 2028 election, should these two individuals be their respective parties' candidates. So with that, it brings us still pretty close, almost tied game. We have 247 for Governor Gavin Newsom to 246 for the Republican J.D. Vance. We're going to get now to the swing district in the Omaha area. So I will give that to the Democrat, Governor Gavin Newsom. Even Harris was able to win this little congressional district basically the Omaha, Nebraska area. So I'm going to go, I might even be willing to do a lean margin, but for now I'm just going to go with tilt. Regardless, that's one more electoral college vote. Then we get to the 3 Rust Belt states. So I am going to go, I do think that Pennsylvania is going to be one of the more Republican friendly. I don't think it will be, it's hard to tell. These 3 states are really going to be what determines it all, and I think really any of these tilt states could end up going the other way conceivably. You just have to make a call of which way they'll go. And I do think of these 3 states that Pennsylvania, it would be the most likely to go to J.D. Vance by a tilt margin, although I do think that if the election were to be held today, just because it is not a very favorable environment for Republicans, that it would result in generally these states vote together. So I do think, if I have to characterize it, I do think that Governor Gavin Newsom would be able to win those 3. And then, so with that, Newsom can even afford to lose, let's say he loses Nevada and Georgia, that would still be 270. But in a world where, here we can switch this with this prediction, and then even if Vance wins the state of Pennsylvania, which is the biggest electoral college player, that would still be 273 to 265. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.